Hello, everyone, and welcome to a great episode of the Gridiron Glory here with Will and Tad. Today, we're going to preview the Los Angeles Rams, the defending NFC West champions. We think they're in for another solid year, led by seasoned veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford, who he has been dealing with some injury concerns here in training camp and preseason. But as for me, I have no concern about him being there week one, ready to go. He's as a veteran, he doesn't exactly need to be playing so much in the preseason and training camp. He knows football like the back of his hand. I think he'll be able to get right in there, do what he needs to do, and take the reins of this offense, which has a lot of potential. Matthew Stafford, we know what he is capable of. We saw the beautiful numbers he put up in Detroit and some of the beautiful numbers he's continued to put up well taking on a leadership role here in Los Angeles, winning the Super Bowl. I rank Matthew Stafford fairly highly among quarterbacks in the league. I'd say he is certainly still a top 10 level quarterback, no question. Maybe even somewhat close to the top five. Maybe I'd say like seven, eight, even in that range. What's your take on Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, Tad, to me, Matthew Stafford is, an upper tier, upper echelon quarterback in the league. He's been around. He's been doing this for quite some time now. And one thing that I really appreciate about him is just his honest ability to stay poised, stay composed in the pocket, throw with great confidence. This is a man that can, get blitzed very heavily and still find ways to deadeye his wide receivers. So I still believe that he's going to come out here, be able to do a lot of those same things, even late in his career, past his prime. He put up beautiful statistical seasons in his Detroit days. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a tremendous leader. So, just really expect Matthew Stafford to come out here and do what he needs to do to lead his team to many victories.
And he's got some very fun skill players to help him do that. Um, if you look at specifically Kyron Williams, I want to talk some about him. He is a very exciting running back. He's known for his specific flips into the end zone. Kyron flipping Williams, he's very fun to watch, gets into the end zone. And I think there's some questions about if he can sustain his level of play, what he's going to do in the coming years. I think he is a high level running back, certainly above average. I'd say borderline top 10 level running back. I think he's very good and he's poised for another good year.
Yeah, Kyron Williams to me, he's a man who you can hand this man the football, and he's gonna, he can take contact. He can be powerful. He's very agile. He's a man that you can trust to hang on to the football and do his job. And if he has green grass in front of him and he has a hole, this is a man that can also cook you extremely fast and quick without even you realizing it. And he's already down the field, and you're just now realizing him, and then you're chasing him. So he's very good about doing that, and then simply flipping into the end zone, making a point about that. So you love to see that out of Mr. Kyron Flippin Williams.
Yeah, and I do also want to make a brief note. I'm also high on some of the depth in this running back room. I know Blake Corum out of Michigan, his second year with the team. I think he is going to take a bit higher of a share of touches this year. I think we can see him grow as the team grows. His role is going to only improve. And they also spent a fourth round draft pick on Jarquez Hunter from Auburn. So they have some young depth in the running back room behind Kyron. So that's very interesting to see. I'm interested to see how the Rams, how they coordinate that. It's going to be interesting to see how Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator, if he can sustain the running back room and get them all the touches they deserve. So looking at the receiver room, this is a very good receiver room. We are very high on Puka Nacua, one of the better receivers in the league. I think that his catchability is just way up there. He can make an incredible play. He always just seems to get himself open. He's a great route runner. His ability to just go up and get the football under pressure. I mean, he's a guy that Matthew Stafford can trust very well, wouldn't you say?
I mean, Puka Nacua, some people might debate me and argue me on this. I mean, while we like Matthew Stafford and many other guys on this roster, I will go ahead and simply say that Puka Nacua is, in fact, the best player on the Los Angeles Rams, currently speaking right now in current state. I mean, this is your franchise player, your franchise receiver. This is the man that you went out and drafted to be as talented as he is, and he has lived up to his hype tag. He has went out there game after game, moment after moment, and I mean we've seen the crucial clutch catches that he's made in really big moments. So he's gonna have to come out here and continue to do that, Tad. So I have full faith in Kyron Williams, and I'm so sorry. I have full faith in Puka Nacua, and just his ability to keep developing, his ability to simply keep growing, and simply his ability to keep inspiring and competing against tremendous other wide receivers in the NFL. I mean, this is a man who I think has the ability to catch up quickly to guys like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson for sure. Yeah, he can catch up very quickly, even this season, up into that tier.
Yes, certainly a very interesting take there. So looking at the rest of the receiver room, obviously a big hole in the room is that you don't have Cooper Kupp anymore. He has been your franchise receiver for a while. Of course, the incredible years that he put together and the Super Bowl that he helped them get. So that's a big loss. But to bridge that gap, you bring in Devontae Adams, one of the better seasoned veteran receivers in the league. I mean, his prime was incredible. And now the question is just what can he do to sort of make a connection here late in the career with another seasoned veteran in Matthew Stafford. I think that's going to be an interesting addition.
Well, the first key for Devontae Adams is if he can locate the Taco Bells that he needs to locate in Los Angeles. That's number one key. No, but in all seriousness, yeah, Devontae Adams is going to bring tremendous leadership to this locker room. He's going to bring a key veteran presence. Obviously, we know that his abilities, what he was able to do in Green Bay, even some moments with the Raiders and the Jets, he definitely did have some big flashy moments even with those two teams. I think this is a chance for Devontae Adams to catch a breath of fresh air with a guy like Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua. I mean, this is going to be a very fun offense to watch with this LA Rams football team with Devontae Adams now in the mix, who at one point was I would have ranked at one point in Devontae Adams' career the best receiver in the NFL at one point back in his Green Bay days. But I mean, the fact that he's working with Puka Nacua, can Devontae Adams mentor Puka Nacua to elevate Puka to that role? I believe so.
Yeah, definitely that's interesting there. You have some other additions. Kanata Mumpfield, you draft him to be a receiver there. You draft him in the seventh round out of Pittsburgh. And now we're gonna touch briefly on the tight end situation here. Obviously, you have Tyler Higbee coming back, seasoned veteran, and then you draft Terrence Ferguson in the second round out of Oregon. So can you grow Terrence Ferguson? Can he learn from Higbee? I think that's going to be a fun dynamic to watch. This is just an offense that can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, absolutely. PFF does have them ranked as the 15th ranked offensive line. Talking about they re-signed a Lark Jackson in free agency, and you get elite run blocking from Kevin Dotson and Rob Havinston. So yeah, Havinston, the right tackle. He is definitely a seasoned veteran, going into his 10th season now out of Wisconsin. Kevin Dotson out of Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. He's going into his 5th year. So some strong tackles, a tackle and guard on the right side there. Then you look at Coleman Shelton. He's going into his 8th year. Steve Avila, the right guard. Yeah, he's going into his 2nd year now. And then obviously the left tackle, Lark Jackson. Tad, I would specifically like to get your take Alaric Jackson and where you rank him amongst Iowa offensive linemen in the league.
I'd probably have to put him third behind Wierce and Linderbaum. I mean, I think those are a pretty clear cut top two right now, especially with Brandon Scherf out of the league. He retired, so I think that it's fair to say Alaric Jackson is third.
Well,
I'm kind of high on this line.
Alaric Jackson is, of course, once again going to be taking on a massive role protecting Matthew Stafford's blind side. And he's going to
Yes,
need to do that in order for this offense to beautifully operate the way we want it to.
certainly. I will say personally, I'm a bit higher on this offensive line than some of the ratings we've seen. I think this has potential to be a top 10 level offensive line in the league.
I think Alaric Jackson is truly one of the better left tackles in the league for sure. I mean, you could put him up there in the ranks of Wirfs and Trent Williams for sure. Close to that tier. Maybe a tier below those
Potentially,
guys.
yeah. I'd say a tier below, but I mean, he's working to get up there, so he's a good player.
For sure. And I'm also big on to see what Terrence Ferguson can do, the rookie out of Oregon.
Yes, definitely going to be interesting there in the tight end room. I think Ferguson could break out.
Yeah. What's your take on the defense?
The defense, I think this is going to be a very good defense, a very young defense that's talented. They did an incredible job in the draft last year. Obviously, Jared Verse, the defensive rookie of the year a year ago. Braden Fisk has been very solid on the line. I think Cameron Kinchens is a very much up and coming safety in the league. All of these second year players. I think this defense has a lot of potential to be very good for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, talking about guys like Puna Ford, Turner, Fisk, Jared Verse. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how the defensive line can. I think it's still a very strong top 10 defensive line, even with the retirement of Aaron Donald. You did also go out and draft Ty Hamilton, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State. You also went out and drafted Josiah Stewart, the edge defensive rusher out of Michigan. So even with Aaron Donald's retirement, Tad, the Rams have still beefed up the defensive line. So this is still, to me, one of the best defensive lines, for sure the best defensive line in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Puna Ford brings tremendous pressure as well. This is going to be a very exciting Rams defensive line for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say they're questionably like top 3 level in the league. I'd probably take Houston over them. I'd probably take Pittsburgh over them. But other than that, I think you could argue that they're right up there in the top 3, at least the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. The linebacker room, the Rams run an interesting set with they run like a 2 linebackers. Well, no, they run 4 linebackers, 2 on the outside of the line, 2 on the inside. So kind of interesting there. Troy Reeder out of Delaware, Omar Spites out of LSU. So you got those 2 back linebackers, veterans that are still, I think, fit in well to a good system and a good Sean McVay system. I mean, this is a Sean McVay system that's ran very well. So, yeah, looking at the secondary unit, to me, the biggest player that stands out to me on this secondary unit, I like Witherspoon. I really do like Darius Williams. I mean, I guess there really isn't for sure like a standout player for, say, Quentin Lake. He's very solid. Cameron Curl out of Arkansas. And obviously you also want guys like Kobe Durant to come up and develop too. Did you have any other takes on the secondary or Chris Paul Jr.?
I will say for me, the standout player in the secondary is second year player Cam Kinchens. I think he's in line for another great year. I was impressed with him as a rookie out of Miami, the 3rd round pick. I think he's in line for another solid year.
That is a very good point you bring up. Yeah, Cameron Kinchens. Yeah, truly going over it. He probably is the best standout player on this secondary unit. He's going to have to really step up, keep doing his thing for sure. So I think this is going to be a top 10 offense, top 10 defense. Yeah, it does look like Joshua Carty is being called on in his second year to take on the kicking duties. And I mean, last year Joshua Carty, a very solid kicker, made the majority of his field goals, 85.3%. He only had a long of 58, so perhaps he can break that threshold and maybe kick over a 60-yarder this season. You would hope for him. He wants to achieve that goal. So, yeah, Joshua Carty out of in-state Stanford, the Atlantic Coast Conference School in California. Yeah. So, Ethan Evans, he will be punting the football. Arguably the greatest player to ever come out of Wingate. Yeah, so he's going into his. Yeah, he's been punting with the Rams for this will be his third season now, punting with the Rams. He's in his first season he hit a 72-yarder. His inside the 20 percentage drastically went up from 2023 to 2024. So yeah, his that percentage went up by over a merely 23%. So you want to see if you can keep that inside the 20 percentage up. So a very good net, 41.4. So, but with the Rams having a top 10 defense and offense, we probably won't be seeing too much of Mr. Ethan Evans on the football field. He will also be called on to be the holder, and obviously that goes into a big role there for sure. Xavier Smith and Jordan Whittington will be the returners. It looks like very solid there. But yeah, Ethan Evans being the holder. Tad, who is the man who's going to need to really lead this thing and do what he needs to do to get the football to Ethan Evans in big moments?
You have Alex Ward here, the long snapper from UCF, drafted, or I should say undrafted in 2023. He was with UCF from 2017 to 2022. So, of course, he was a member of that undefeated UCF team that went and beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. And some of them, they claim a national championship via the Coley Matrix. So, if you ask some people, you're talking about a national champion level player here in Alex Ward. And he's had a couple years here with the Rams. He's played in 30 games and he's still just getting his career going, and he's got a lot of potential as an up and coming long snapper. I think this is a player that they are continuing to hope to develop, and they're doing a pretty solid job of it, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. Offensive coordinator will be Mike LaFleur. He's going into his looks like his third season now with the Rams, and their defensive coordinator will be Chris Shula going into. So you got some experienced coordinators in a Sean McVay system. This will be a very exciting Rams team to watch. I'm going to go ahead and say anywhere from 9 to 14 wins.
I think I'm going to go in the 10 to 13 range, so a little narrower. I think this is a very good team. I think this is, in my opinion, without question, the best team in the division. I think we'll see them repeating the division championship. A very good team, and we'll just see if they can continue to take steps in the playoffs. A very quality team.
Absolutely. I'd have to agree with that take. The Rams are a very quality football team. Matthew Stafford, I don't doubt that he would love to win one more Super Bowl before he retires.
Absolutely. Some very excellent takes here today. Thank you all for watching the Gridiron Glory. Please continue to like, subscribe, and follow our content. This is the Gridiron Glory.